All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here spreading this gospel and sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. And I'm going to just touch on this article a little bit. It was uploaded or put on the internet yesterday, and they kind of go into what these globalists, they call them globalists, but you read the scriptures, we know actually who these people are, which are the Edomites, and these are the super rich elites of this Edomite nation that's bringing in this new world order, this whole digital system that's going to be complete slavery for everybody, man, even a lot of their own people, because they don't give a damn about their own people, man. They just care about themselves, and they want to be, basically God on the earth, So they want control of everything, all assets, and even you. You know what I mean? So we're going to just go into this and touch on this a little bit. And I may or may not read the whole thing, depending on how fast of a read it is. But it says the globalists, the Edomites, these top rich banking families, these, the top elite of the nation of Esau, Edom, the so-called white people. It says they are making really big moves, which would fundamentally change how our society operates, which is true, man, because this whole digital system that they're bringing in, is going to change everything, no more cash and, etc. And it says, while everybody else is distracted, the globalists are making absolutely enormous moves. Previously, I have written about the UN's new worldwide system for cracking down on misinformation and about their desire to implement a global system of digital identification that is tied to our bank accounts. I realize that these things sound really wild, but they aren't being done in secret. Exactly. They coming out with all different types of articles, even going to all these different meetings around the world, like the World Economic Forum and things like that. And they telling you what they're going to do. But even though they're saying this basically in your face, man, a lot of people still don't know the things that they're talking about and what's about to, what's about to come. A lot of people are not ready for a whole digital system and things like that, man. And people don't know that this is going to bring in complete and utter slavery for them, They're going to control everything, all your money. You do anything that they don't like, then hey, they're gonna cut it off. They're gonna cut off your access to your own funds. So if they want to force something that you gotta take in your arm, and we already know what I'm talking about. If they want to force you to take that and you don't take it, they can cut off your access to your funds if you don't, do whatever they say. You see what I'm saying? And this is what it's gonna lead to. It's going to sound like it's very convenient, but it's going to be basically a trap. And it says, in fact, the globalists are very proud of what they are doing, but only a small percentage of the population is even aware of this insidious agenda that they are pushing through. And it says, and so there is very little debate about it. And it says, let me see if I can exit this out. But it says ultimately the globalists this will give them total control of everything. And it says, sadly, I am not exaggerating one bit. And it says, for example, the Bank of International Settlements has released a blueprint that calls for the creation of a unified ledger that would eventually record ownership of all assets on the entire planet. The following is an extended excerpt from the blueprint, which comes directly from the official website of the BIS. And it says, this chapter represents a blueprint for a future monetary system that harnesses the potential of tokenization to improve the old and enable the new. The key element of this blueprint are CBDCs, you know? So that this digital system is coming, man. And they're saying this is the main element, this is the key element of the things that they're trying to do, you know? And it says tokenized deposits and other tokenized claims on financial and real assets. The blueprint envisages these elements being brought together in a new type of financial market infrastructure, a unified ledger. The full benefits of tokenization could be harnessed in a unified ledger due to the settlement finality that comes from central bank money residing in the same venue as other claims. Leveraging trust in the central bank, a shared venue of this kind has great potential to enhance the monetary and financial system. A unified ledger transforms the way that intermediaries interact to serve end users through programmability and the platform's ability to bundle transactions. A unified ledger allows sequence of financial transactions to be automated and seamlessly integrated. This reduces the need of manual interventions and reconciliations that arise from the traditional separation of messaging, clearing, and settlement, thereby eliminating delays and uncertainty. The ledger also supports simultaneous and instantaneous settlement, reducing settlement times and credit risk. Settlement in central bank money ensures the singleness of money and payment finality. And it says, moreover, by having everything in one place, a unified ledger provides a setting in which a broader array of contingent actions can be automatically executed to overcome information and incentive problems. In this way, tokenization could expand the universe of possible contracting outcomes. The unified ledger thus opens the way for entirely new types of economic arrangement that are impossible today due to incentive and informational frictions. The eventual transformation of the financial system will be limited only by the imagination and integrity of developers that build on the systems, much as the ecosystem of smartphone apps has far exceeded the expectations of the platform builders themselves, man. So, and we already know this is going to get out of hand, man. We already know what they're going to use it for. These people don't have no type of integrity. You know what I'm saying? So once they finally get this system implemented to where they want it, you know, this digital system, then they're going to definitely use it in ways that's going to, you know, further oppress, you know, people out here. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have any type of integrity. And it says, so who would be in control of this unified ledger? Needless to say, it would be the globalists, these super rich Edomites, you know, super rich white people. And as Mike Adams has pointed out, this would mean that your ownership of assets can be revoked or altered at any time. And it says this new plan describes an Orwellian globalist run unified ledger that records ownership of all assets, checking accounts, real estate, bonds, stocks, etc. So all your money on a centralized exchange run by these Edomites. All assets will be tokenized, a process that the BIC describes as recording claims of financial or real estate that exists on a traditional ledger on a programmable platform. So everything that you own, you know, it's going to be tokenized. You know, it's going to become an asset that can be taken away. Even your account, your bank account, your money, all of that's going to be tokenized. So it's going to be, you get in this digital system, you're giving them permission to you know, take ownership of everything that you own. This unified ledger will feature programmable entries, meaning that your ownership of assets can be revoked or altered at any time according to the social engineering desires of these rich white people, super rich banking whites. I hate when they use globalist because it doesn't give you the exact of who it is behind this. But it says ownership of all assets on the entire planet would be determined by their unified ledger. And so if you are a really bad boy or girl, they could go in and simply transfer ownership of everything that's yours to someone else. And this sounds crazy, but hey, this is what's coming, man. With just a few clicks, you would own nothing and would become a total outcast. You know, this is why it's gonna be so hard for people to not bow down to this system, man. Because if you don't, it's gonna take away your livelihood. It's gonna take away your comfortability. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people want to be comfortable, man. You know. And it says, of course, this is just one element of the globalist agenda. They also want to give the UN unprecedented emergency powers at the Summit of the Future in September 2024. The power of United Nations is now seeking to increase its influence worldwide by seizing global emergency powers, and Joe Biden supports their proposal. Interestingly, the UN proposal will begin September 2024, a mere 2 months before a highly anticipated general election in the U.S. The global organization will host a summit of the future where associated nations will adopt a so-called pact for the future. And this is exactly what it is, a pact. All these nations getting together to decide and agree on something that they all gonna do, which is this digital system. The Pact for the Future includes a provision which will create an emergency platform for the United Nations whenever a major global shock is deemed to have occurred. And this is what they're going to use. They're going to use some kind of, I ain't going to say that, some type of disaster or some type of, emergency situation to change laws and things like that, and gain even more power through, these emergencies. So they're going to cause chaos, and then they're going to come in like the heroes and, change certain things and change laws, that's going to benefit them. And it says, so if there is another global, a world war, an economic collapse, or some other sort of worldwide emergency, the United Nations will suddenly be telling everyone what to do. The emergency platform will provide the international body with power over all nations in times of distress. Such power, according to the UN, is needed to ensure that all participating actors make commitments that can contribute meaningfully to the response, and that they are held to account for delivery on those commitments. Yeah, so that's what these meetings are for, is for people to get on board, make commitments to each other. So when these things take place, they're gonna fall in line where they need to be. You see what I'm saying? So all these nations are on board, man. They're gonna be on board with each other when these things happen. According to the UN's policy proposal, the Secretary General could extend the emergency platform if need be, despite its duration being set for a finite period. Such a decision would be made without consent of any member nations. Do you really want the UN to have this sort of power? Unfortunately, Joe Biden and his minions fully support this proposal. Biden has a long history of doing what the globalists want. And exactly, that's just because Biden is just a face of America right now. You have other people that are more powerful and more rich than him behind him, pulling the strings and telling him what to do. He's just, acting out their agenda and telling the people what they want them to know. Biden is just, what they would call he's just a puppet at the end of the day. And so this is probably why they are trying to rush this through before the next presidential election. At this point, Biden is a shell of his former self. He has degenerated into a crazy old man that regularly shouts obscenities at random staff members. And he's been like that, man. He's been a shell of his former self, because no time when he was, you know, no time as president had he made his own decisions, man. Somebody's always made decisions for him. And it says, I don't want to read about Joe Biden, but with such a weak leader in the White House, the globalists see an opportunity to advance their agenda like never before. And if they get their way, our society will be completely turned upside down. And Joe Biden is part of the agenda. He's not, he's not doing anything that the globalists don't want him to do already. All of this is their plans in the first place. It says, let me leave you with one more example. A globalist organization called Arab Group that has close ties with the World Economic Forum is actually proposing a complete and total end to private car ownership. On construction, cities need to change what types of buildings and infrastructure are built, as well as what materials are used. On transport, private car ownership needs to end, and the shared vehicles that replace it have to use less materials and be longer lasting. Urban residents will also need to adapt to a largely plant-based diet, mostly replace flying with less energy intensive forms of long distance transport, change how clothes and textiles are consumed, and keep electronics and household appliances for longer. So yeah, this is all about the 15-minute cities thing that they want to try to do. Keep everybody in the city. You know what I'm saying? So they really making some big moves, man. And they're gonna do this quickly by emergency situations like disasters. And it says these people are insane, but they are going to keep pushing the envelope until someone stops them. If you plan to object what they are going to do, you should take a stand while you still have the freedom to do so. And you know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep pushing. They're gonna keep this agenda going until everybody bows down. To ultimately it gets to the point where you have to make a decision and take the MOTB, which is that mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, man. And that's gonna come, after the implementation of this digital system. Once this digital system is set up, then they're gonna make even more moves, and it's gonna get to a point where you don't have to take that, that mark that Revelation talks about, man. That's coming. You see, this is where it's all leading to. That's the end all be all. That's the end game. And they're gonna keep pushing that envelope, not until someone stops them, but until the Most High, allows them to reach that certain measure that they're supposed to reach, to be in power, because they got a certain time that they're supposed to stay in power. So once that time is reached, the Most High is going to take them out of power, man. No one is going to stop them. The Most High is the only one that's going to stop them. You see? And it says, if you plan to object what they are doing, you should take a stand while you still have the freedom to do so. We are living during one of the most critical times in all of human history, and we need men and women of courage that are willing to speak truth. And that's coming to a hope. The famine of the word is coming. Anybody speaking truth, anybody that's letting people know what's about to happen, all of that's going to be taken off the internet. And most of these people out here that don't know what's going on are going to be left in darkness. So any agenda that they have planned, these people are going to get involved in it because they don't know. They didn't know beforehand of what these people were planning to do because they so caught up in entertainment, etc. It says, because lies and deception are seemingly everywhere these days, the darkness is growing all around at a pace that is absolutely staggering. And that's true, man. So, the agenda that these people have, they moving full steam ahead with it, man. These globalists, which are these super rich white people, you know what I'm saying? These most of them are these people that claim to be, the real Jews of the Bible, these Jewish people, that own everything, man. You know, they finna own everything and even more, even you. You see what I'm saying? So this is what it's coming to, man. It's gonna get a lot worse until the Most High, till the Most High put a stops to it. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honesty, apostle, and elders, a great minister, and peace and blessing, hopefully, shalom.